Hey, welcome back to Earth 1111. The 2025 prediction video is here for you. It's going to be crazy. We are not going to be the same people now as of the end of the year. The world is going to be completely different. Now, what can we expect? Well, I'm going to rapid fire a lot of things in this video that I will go into more detail in the future because there's so much. Okay, so we got, of course, AI being pushed upon us like never before. We got to realize that AI is not the technology that is of this kind of false age of Aquarius that we've all been pushed upon. This AI that's based on a limited data set, pretty much pulling crap from the internet. And that is their data set, really. That's all they got to go from. And it's kind of like a built-in failure, because AI will fail eventually. It's going to be propped up, of course, with billions and billions of dollars. But the fact that it needs so much energy, water, electricity, right? You got to realize AI is kind of like the same thing as the parasites of the quantum field, right? The fallen beings that need to suck energy, resources from organic systems in order to keep alive, or let's just say sustain themselves. AI is no different because it's not based on the infinite quantum field. It's based on a limited data set that they have been pulling from. And because it needs, right, this artificial energy, that billions and billions and trillions of dollars put into these data centers, pretty much you can see how the economy is blowing up on every single level. Their old ways are no longer sustainable. So they got to throw everything into the pot. They're putting all the money on, right? And by then, I'm talking about governments. I'm talking about multinational corporations, big tech, the billionaires, right? That are keeping this old system propped up. But you got to realize AI was created because of impulses by people that are not in their highest expression, right? So we got to think about these big tech people that created AI. They were impulsed by their, let's just say, the holes in their own aura in which they can be manipulated by fallen beings to create this AI as like the interface for them to come through. Okay, more on AI in a different video because I can go on and on and on, but just know that we are supposed to be rejecting these initial technologies because they're not sustainable. They're not, there's literally, right, think about what it's done so far, almost nothing. There's literally just the smallest things that AI has contributed to society so far. And let's just say it's a data stealing operation on every single front. There's nothing positive about this version of AI anyways. So we're meant to see something for what it is, reject it, so then better technologies can be built in the future. All right, number 2, are we going to have contact with extraterrestrials, spaceships this year? Well, we keep hearing about it. There's a lot of people obsessed with this. And I get it, when you're not connected within yourself to connect to your multidimensional expression, your many versions of yourself, these galactic aspects, angelic aspects that exist in other dimensions, I get it. Then you want something out there, right? You want that magical experience. But it's actually when you start being able to activate your DNA, you realize it's kind of like not that big of a deal. And I did do a video all about this last month. I'm actually surprised not many people watched it. And I appreciate you if you did. If not, you're missing out. Better check out that video after this one for a lot more, because I talk about all of this. Now, there is a lot of people in the spiritual community that right? There's no groundedness in reality. It's always an escapism. They want the beings out here to save us. They want the magical experiences. And they're not really grounded in reality about what we need to be dealing with, which is this crazy transformation in the world This is the most spiritual place that you can be. In the body, not out there in the astral realm. We could have contact. There could be a ship right up here, but if you're not at the consciousness level to open up a different version of your own sky, a different version of reality, you're not even going to see it. You're not even going to notice it. It's not in your belief system, and it's not in your ability to be in that frequency bandwidth to observe something at a different frequency. So that's the thing about contact, right? Everyone always talks about it. A lot of us are already getting contact. Now, a lot of people are getting caught up in false light contact, which is not what I mean by true multidimensional expression, which means your DNA activating, anchoring and downloading other versions of yourself in other paradigms, other alternate realities, parallel realities, so you can become them in this lifetime. Totally different than worrying about some spaceship up there. I'm sorry. That's kind of like so minor when it comes down to it. I get it. People are excited about it. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, check out my other video all about this next after the video, because I talk about a lot more. Okay. Number 3, disclosure. I've been saying this for about 6 or 7 years. Disclosure is not going to be, right, some white hat, some government official, someone out there making an announcement to the rest of the world about all the secrets and lies going on. Disclosure happens within the individual because people see the world through their own filters. If someone literally can't take or can't even, right, it's not in their belief system that anything that X, Y, and Z is going on, they simply will not be able to literally take in that information and actually understand it. So similar to the contact thing, if you're not at a frequency level to understand, to be able to process a holistic version of reality and not little bits and pieces that you're fed, right, like I mentioned in my NPC video, then you are not going to be able to even understand or fathom that anything's going on. You're still going to be in your old paradigm. Disclosure, ascension, activation of your DNA happens at the individual level. We are crystallizing at the individual level, poking holes in all of this false matrix, and that is how it's going to be crumbling more and more. Support the people at the small levels that are doing big things that you resonate with. That is how the world's going to change. So, more on that is we're going to be seeing the craziness happen in the world, crazy weather. Well, crazy weather is mirroring the crazy people out there. People are freaking out. People are not centered. Air is literally thought forms. Water, right, is emotions, explosions of emotion. Fire, well, there's both things happening. We got the organic activation of Earth. Earth is becoming a higher frequency light being, literally going to be activating her own Merkaba field. Now, at the same time, we have an artificial whole paradigm of the old fighting it, fighting back, trying to stop it. So, of course, we can, see what happens with a lot of these fallen beings. Really, the people that are being impulsed, they're the puppets for fallen shadow beings operating in the shadows. And I don't mean just on this planet. I mean many layers deep, as I've mentioned on many different videos. You've got to take my False Matrix and Cosmic Karma Masterclass for a full understanding that goes billions of years old. This is not just something that just came about where the crazy world is just happening. You've got to know the many multidimensional layers of how we got to this point and what to do about it. Many solutions. So right now it's on sale for $100 off. Don't miss out on the masterclass for more. I'll put the link below in the description box. Because there's going to be a monster push by fallen beings, again, those impulsed by their own inner traumas, their own holes in their field, the holes in their aura, in their consciousness in which they are puppeteered. Again, I explain a lot more in the masterclass about how it works. But you got to realize that there's going to be a massive push against ascension. There's been going on for a long time, but we're seeing, as you know, help happening in LA, and really a lot of other things happening where disasters are being orchestrated to try to push us down this future agenda where we are all under complete suppression, complete control. Now, it's nothing new, but the many layers deep, most people really don't understand. They think it's just a surface level thing going on in the world. But you got to realize that this whole climate that is happening, let's say the whole changing in the environment, let's say, I'm not going to use certain words, but it's being orchestrated. Yes, we have a lot of natural changes going on. Of course, the planet is having more frequency. Literally, that is heat. That is changing and shifting the structures, the poles. We're literally having pole shift, not pole flip, which causes disasters, which has happened in the past by these same fallen beings to wipe out. You gotta realize, okay, think about all the different things, right? We see LA happening right now. Well, what are they trying to do? They're trying to create a certain very dense built up city based on technology. Again, back to my first point. These technologies that we're being pushed right now are not of the future. They are not organic. They're not in alignment with protecting the earth or humanity or anything. So you've got to be rejecting these plans. But how do you do that? You flatten everything. You start from scratch. Now, we've seen this in the past. Ever wonder why there's so many sacred sites that are just destroyed, right? Pyramids, temples, lots of places. Same thing. Again, you can figure it out for yourself, but we got to realize there is a push to stop the awakening of this planet because we're moving into a certain consciousness above the level where all the rats and the parasites hang out, right? When you get to a certain consciousness level, you connect back into the original source code of your DNA and you're no longer manipulated by lower beings. So that is the push to keep us at the lowest consciousness level possible. Now, of course, they want to make you scared of the changes happening in weather, okay? It is being weaponized. Again, we can see this happening so often right now. And that's to, of course, to make people, again, down this future path where we are just completely begging the government or someone to save us. What's the solution? Make sure you are self-sufficient. Make sure you are not scared of digging deep into what's going on, right? The spiritual community tries to tell you, just be happy all the time and ignore the bad. Well, you don't want to focus on the negative. You want to make sure that you understand and you know the blind spots because you are manipulated through your blind spots. And we can see this happening in the world. So you want to be able to be completely sustainable, having major discernment, learning skills, important skills, life skills, right? And not being in fear. This is the year to take action. This is the year to start being able to, okay, we get what's going on. You got to realize that negative stuff has to be shown to us, right? The fallen beings, right? We live in a free will system, which means that we have to freely choose to go down the wrong path, right? Now, yes, we can say that people are manipulated. People are dumbed down. Well, why are they dumbed down? Again, back to the whole thing. This is a year as well that's going to be massively health orientated because I see how sick people are. People are not taking care of their health. People are still running out to doctors to grab the next prescription instead of getting down to the core of health, your gut health, right? Your microbiome, detoxing, purification, eating local, clean food. Again, supporting the local people in your community that are supporting an organic lifestyle. You got to realize there is a massive battle between artificial everything and organic. Organic is the ascension way, okay? Even though we're pushed and we're saying, okay, it's the age of Aquarius, it's all about technology and all this. That's a false paradigm. You know what, I'm gonna do a full video on the age of Aquarius because we're not really in the age of Aquarius. Talk about that another time though, but because there is a push by people that are impulsed, that haven't done the work, that are not purifying their body, that are not coming from the connection to source, that are being impulsed by their shadows, that haven't done it, right? So again, back to the whole thing of shadow integration. We don't focus on all the negative and get ourselves all freaked out and feel angry 24/7. If you feel that anger, fuel it towards something amazing in which you are passionate about. The anger, that emotion, that charge is powerful. Put it to use. Don't just damage your body with being angry and stressed out and emotional, right? Use it to fuel you, to start shifting you towards taking action. This is an action-orientated year. It's also a year of endings. You know, I'll do a full video on that because I want to talk about, stick on kind of more worldly predictions. Before I go on, you got to realize too that the change is happening within us. Okay, so even though, right, people want some big thing out here to happen and they want to know what's going to happen out here. You have changed so much. Think about the way you were a year ago, a month ago, 10 years ago. Evolution, ascension is underway inside you now. That's the amazing thing. Okay, so the world out here will mirror that when you change. So always remember that. Okay, but know that there is going to be a push by the old structures to maintain control. It's got to get stupider out there in order for us to fully see it. For people that don't see it yet, right? And again, people still have their filters, their blinders, and again, this comes from eating false food, being around false frequencies, all the electronics around you, right? The push for this false environmental green energy that's not environmental at all. Okay, that's going to be a big thing as well. You've got to do your research on where these batteries come from, and you will realize that the push that they're pushing, right, in order to try to get everything electrical, e-cars, this, right, smart, let's just say towns, all of this is to make sure that you are radiated so much, and there's nothing green about it. Do your research and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Look up everything from rare earth minerals to just all the ingredients in those batteries, and you'll see exactly what I mean, because it is the opposite of helping this planet. It is literally again a whole ploy by the false matrix to make sure people are under complete suppression, and that's also the biggest thing, as I mentioned too, your health, so important right now. It is so important right now, and that's why we are being, right, food is weaponized. We're being bombarded from every single angle with toxins, chemicals, right? We see it everywhere. Even what's happening in LA right now. Think about all the chemical that they're putting on these fires. Think about all the things burning, right? All the plastics, all of the materials in people's houses. That's in the air now. And then the whole thing with AI, that it needs so much electricity and power and water. God, I read something like it needs, like if you ask one question to Chat GPT, it uses something like a cup of water for one question. Imagine people like, hey, write me an entire, book. Imagine people like, hey, research every single encyclopedia and tell me all these things. Like, it's ridiculous. So how do you have on one hand the push for this, and the other hand the push for that? You don't. It's all fake. It's a fake world, remember that? And it's collapsing. It's going to be crazier. You've got to make sure that you are in a position where you are empowered, doing your energy work as far as grounding into the planet, getting in nature, taking care of your health. So important right now. And I've mentioned this many times, detoxification. You know how many cleanses I've been on in my life? Dozens and dozens and dozens. So many. There's so many different ways to just purify all the toxins. We live in a toxic world right now. It's going to be changing, but we have got to step up and make sure it does. We don't just sit back and be like, okay, you know, it's all taken care of now. It's not. It's a false world out there. There is some amazing changes happening. Really focus on that. Focus on the solutions. Focus on what is happening that's good. Not just all the bad, but you've got to also be aware of the blind spots. If you're not, that's how you can be flattened, right? We can see it happening. Let me know in the comments if there's any other things you guys want to know about as far as these predictions. But know that ascension is well underway, which means that it is destabilizing these rigid old structures that are not in alignment. So we've got to realize that if you're scared of change, you're not going to like this year. It's all about change. And not just this year. We're in for rapid shifts for many years to come. But that's what we came here for this. It's exciting. Don't be in fear about this. This is exciting. Let me know in the comments any other things you want to know about, and I'll do a follow-up part 2 video, as well as a 2025 energy forecast as well coming up. I know I'm a bit late, but you know what? The false calendar of January 1st is BS. That wasn't the new year. The new year is whenever you feel that excitement for the new. And I'm feeling it right now. I'm finally feeling that we are moving and shaking, and there's so many timelines shifting. And don't forget, my False Matrix and Cosmic Karma Masterclass is on sale right now. Don't miss out on that, where I go into massive detail on so many other things that you need to know. And I'll put more in the description box below. Share my video on all your social media platforms. You can also find different content from me more often on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X. Subscribe to Earth 1111 and hit that bell for my future videos. You're not going to want to miss out. And you can check out all my masterclasses and courses to help you uncover and navigate this crazy time of transformation. Not just out there in the world, but inside you. I'll put all below in the description box for more. All right, it's getting dark. I better get going. Lots of love. I'm Roxane. This has been Earth 1111. Take care.